Designers, developers, founders, marketers, and hobbyists, this video is for you. In this video, we will be recreating Netflix's landing page on Framer, learning Framer along the process, and by the end of this video, you can decide for yourself if you're a designer and you can take designs and publish them directly as a full-fledged website. If you're a developer, you can create the front end for your web apps. If you're a founder, you can create a landing page for your business by yourself. If you're a marketer, you can create marketing campaigns in a jiffy, and hobbyists, you can decide if Framer is the tool which is going to stay in your tool belt. Sounds cool? All right, let's get started. In the description down below, I have given a link to Framer. When you click on the link, this is what you're going to see. This is Framer's homepage, and I'm going to click here on the top right, build your site for free. Let me make myself smaller, and you can go ahead, pause this video, and create an account in Framer using any of these options. I'm going to continue with Google, lowerhq@gmail.com. I'm going to enter my password. Hey, hold up. Finish, I agree, send me updates, total good, finish. Alright, team name, can't let you nowhere. Okay, so this is the first thing you're going to see after you sign in, and let's take the tour. So you can click on this. This is an interactive player, so they're going to give you the Framer app tour. You can take that, you can pause this video and take that tour. I'll be waiting for you here. If you don't want to take it, that's totally fine as well. We're just going to click here and exit the tutorial, and let's begin. So here's how we're going to learn Framer. We are going to recreate this landing page of Netflix.com. This is my version. It might be different on yours. They usually test landing pages A, B, C, D. So I will be sending you a screenshot of this, and I'll also send you assets like the logo and the background. It's all linked down in the description. You can just download it for yourself if you want to follow along. So as you can see, we've got one navigation bar up top. We have got the hero title, the subtitle, and we have the get started button. Now along with this, we are going to make it responsive as well. So this is what responsiveness means. As we change the window size, the content inside changes in size. Can you see how the email address bar is getting smaller, shorter? Yeah, and how the text start to wrap when you get to smaller window sizes. So we're going to be doing all that in Framer by ourselves. Awesome. So we're back in Framer, and let me put myself down here. I'll just select this desktop bar and press on this nav and hit delete. Let's start fresh. Now let's start with the most important tool, that is the frame tool. Now under layout on the top bar, I'm going to select layout, press the frame or F. We can just hit F on our keyboard for a shortcut, and we can create a frame. Drag, click and drag, and place it anywhere we like. Now the beauty of a frame is inside one frame we can create more frames. Boxes within boxes within boxes. This is basically the box model and how any other website on the web is built. So I'm going to select and delete these boxes, and I'm going to position this frame to the top left. See how Framer is giving us guidelines? And I'm going to drag this so I fill the entire page. And instead of covering the whole length, I'm just going to cover a part of it to create one section. Why? Because when you go down, we see that it's divided into the sections. The website's divided into one section. This is the hero section. the feature section, more features, and FAQ section. So basically this frame is going to signify one section. For developers, that's a div. For designers, it's a frame itself, so a section. Okay, and now we are going to put the background for it. The background is in the link description. So I'm going to go to the properties panel on the right side. Having the frame selected, I'm going to go under fill, which is under styles. So I'm going to select the fill and I'm going to select image. I'm going to choose image and upload one image from my desktop, which is this. So let's wait for it to upload. Now with our image, we have more options. We can select resolution to be medium or large. I'm just going to set it to auto. The sizing can be fill, fit, and stretch. We'll cover these a little later. Don't want to confuse you right in the beginning. So we're going to leave things as it is. I'm just going to close out of here. And we have our background. Now, let's tackle these texts. So even this text is a box. This is one box. So how do we get another box inside? It is now, this one is specific. This is a text box or a text layer in Framer. And to create a text layer, I'll go to the top bar again and select text, or alternatively, I can press T on my keyboard. So I'm going to press text and click here. Can you see the cursor? Now I can type anything I want. Unlimited movies, TV shows, and more. Now I can drag this inside the frame. Now can you see on the left side this indentation? This signifies that this text is inside or has been nested inside this frame or this box. So I can now go to the right side, the right panel, the properties panel, and scroll down to under text, and I can make changes. For example, I can choose a different font. I can choose its weight. So instead of medium, let me go bold, and I can select the size. I can delete and type in the size, or I can use the slider to increase its size, or I can just use the keys, the up and down key on my keyboard. So I'm just going to give this 40. Let's do 48. Okay, so we have our first text. So now for the second text, why don't you do it yourself? We have this, give this a 24 size and a semi-bold font, and this, give it 20. Yeah, do it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to select the text again, click, and type, what do we have? Watch anywhere, cancel anytime. Watch anywhere, cancel anytime. So now I'm going to select this text box, drag it in the middle. So Framer is giving us the guideline again. Go to the right side. On the text, I'm going to select the weight to be semi-bold and give it a font size of 26. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to drag and position. Now there's one more. So I'm just going to click here and duplicate this. Right click, duplicate, or Command D is the shortcut. I'm going to click and drag the duplicated text, and I'm just going to copy this now. Ready to watch. Command C to copy, and I'm going to select the entire text here and Command V. I'm going to go to the properties panel again. Under text, semi-bold is good. For the font size, I'm going to give this 20. Now I'm going to position this in the middle as well. Can you see how it's giving us consistent spacing? Framer is giving us guides 40-40. That is the amount of spacing between this text. So that's cool. So we now have our text layers. Awesome. Now on the left side, you can see that all of these three text has been nested inside this frame. So it is necessarily a children of this frame that is the parent. I can just double click on frame to rename this. So I'm going to name this hero section. So this is what it's called, above the fold or hero section. The first thing that you see, that's web speak, hero section. Okay, congratulations, we completed two things already. Now there was the third thing. We've got our email address and get started. So let's forget about the functionality for now. Let's just focus on the design. So we have our, let's see how this is. Let me zoom in. So we have our email address input bar, and it's transparent black with a border style, and the border is rounded on the corners. And same with the button. It's got red but rounded at the corners. Okay, let's do this now. So I'm going to select these three text layers, and I'm going to move them a bit so that we have space for our email and button. So how can we create this? We'll just use another frame. So I'm going to take the frame tool, or just press F, click and drag, and this is going to be for our email. And I'm going to click F again to create another frame, and this will be for our button. So how do we make it more like the landing page? So I'm going to select this frame now. It's just a box, right? This is a box. So I'm just going to change some properties of the box to make it look like this. So what properties might that be? Let's scroll down on the properties panel. If you're focused about these things for now, forget about these things. We'll cover them. We'll go down to fill. So now instead of blue, I can select on the slider and give it black. I'm going to and can you see here, this is 100%, this is the alpha channel, or it's the opacity, or how dark or how transparent our color is. So instead of 100, I'm going to give it, let's say 75. Is this transparent enough? No. Let's give it 50. Right, 50 looks good. 50 looks good. So that's one thing covered. Now the next is the border color. It has a gray border with rounded corners. Okay, two things. So let's go down to border. Can you see here the border has been grayed out? So we're just going to give it a border. Can you see? If we give it color, we can see the border on the canvas. Awesome. So I'm just going to give it a grayish color. Now let's see. How does this look? This looks good. Now we need to round it. So I'm going to select the frame again, and I'm going to go to the radius property. So this I'm going to change to 10. Can you see? It got rounded. Alright, so instead of 10, let's make it a bit smaller. Let's try 5. Yeah, 5 looks good. Now let's zoom out. Okay, we have something going. Now what we need text which says email address. So I'm going to go zoom in, and how do we get the text in? Simple, the text tool, or just press T on the keyboard, click here, email address. Now can you see the text on the left side has been nested under the frame? So this is now inside this frame. What does that mean? If I select the frame and I move this around, the text moves along with it. Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to rename this by double clicking and call it email input. Okay, so the property of this text it's not entirely white in color. It's a bit gray and it's a little smaller in size, and it's not such a thicker bold. So I'm gonna give it medium and change the font color to light gray. How does that look? Is that good? Awesome. So now let's do the button. I'm going to select the button frame. Let's rename this quickly, button, and go down to fill, change it to red, any red that you like. Okay, so now let's do the same thing again. We don't have a border, but we do have the radius. So I'm going to give the radius 5. Let's have a look. Looks good. Now we need text. So I'm going to press T on the text tool from the top bar and write get started. And it has this icon, this arrow icon as well. But no, instead of the icon, let's just put this greater than sign for now. We'll cover that later when you do stacks, because it's a bit complicated if you don't know. And I'm just going to change the color to white and increase its font size to, let's say, 26, and make it bold. Position this in the middle. Framework gives us guideline again. Now let's have a look. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Now, what else? What else do we need? So we've got the navigation bar. We've got the logo. We've got another box which has more functionality, and a sign-in button. So let's tackle the third subsection, which is the nav bar. So I'm going to put the logo. So now we can insert. We'll go to the insert panel, and we're going to select under media. We're going to select an image. Just going to click and drag. We now have our image. Now how we did with the background, we're just going to go down under fill, choose image, Netflix logo. I'm going to upload this. Okay, now you can see that the logo is getting cut off because of the frame size. So what we can do is under sizing, instead of fill, we're going to set it to fit. What this does is the entire logo is fit according to the size of the box. Meaning, if I change the box's dimensions, the logo will always fit. So I'm going to make it a bit smaller. How does that look? Good enough? Good enough. So we need another box here which gives us the language functionality. So I'm just going to select F to draw another frame, and here we go. And there is one more sign in button, and I'm going to create another frame for it by pressing F. Okay. So can you see that this box, the properties, is very similar to the email box's property? So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to select this box. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to copy the style. And then I'm going to select this box, right click, and under paste, paste style. Allow. Whoa. We don't have to repeat our work. You got the exact same style right away. Okay. Now we need the text. Let's forget about these icons for now. We'll cover them when we do components. That's the next part, the following part of this series. So I'm just going to select the text tool, click here, and give it English. Okay, and I'm going to click and drag to position it under text. I will decrease its size, and instead of bold, let's just give it a regular size. Okay, not regular, let's make it medium. And right in the middle. Okay, now for the sign in is again very similar to this box. So why don't you do it? Copy its style and paste its style so we don't have to repeat our task. Done? Okay. You should have paused and done. So I'm going to select, right click, copy style, select, right click, paste style. Look at that. Now we need a text inside. Text, sign in, and just going to position it. Hey, look at that. So now I'm going to select these three texts together by holding down Shift, and I'm going to position this a bit in the middle, and I'm going to select these two as well. Excuse me, and position this. How does that look? It's good. We have something very similar to this. Hey, we just created Netflix's landing page, at least a desktop breakpoint, and Framer. Was that difficult? Was that hard? I don't think so. So now the next things that we're going to cover is how to make this responsive and how to get this to work, how to get to select the languages, and we have more things to cover like this entire layout sections, features, FAQs, the footer. So if you like this and if you think you can now get started with Framer, if this was easy enough, let me know in the comments section, give this a like, and if you want to continue with this series, you can get the next video up here or up here. I don't know where I'm going to put this, but you can click on it and watch the next part. Okay, ciao.